Another day, and we haven't seen one arrest in the terrorist attack on the church over the past weekend. I hope you guys are as outraged as I am that, what? Do Democrats just don't, I mean, Republicans just don't want to be vicious like the left is? I don't think that's being vicious going after those people. Look how they went after the January 6th. They went after those people like they were on a mission. And I think we need to be on a mission. And there should have been swifter action. Don Lemon should have been arrested, and it should have been on camera. It should have been on camera. But I tell you what, it's some crazy stuff going on in the world. Crazy, crazy, crazy. So we're gonna go over. It's like what we woke up. I always say this: we woke up and we're in the twilight zone. That we're having conversations on. We shouldn't mutilate our children. We're talking about this. We're having to pass bills not to mutilate children. Give them puberty blockers. Pass bills to stop states from doing it. Stop states from bills to be passed to stop sending abortion pills through the mail. It's insane. It is just absolutely insane. It's like the world has turned upside down. And it's just unbelievable. Unbelievable. ICE being disrupted by peaceful protesters to enforce the laws that we elected President Trump to do. Crazy world we're in, right? Crazy world we're in. The climate change, fake climate change tried to destroy our economy. Other countries, their economies are in the tank because they're what? They're trying to use windmills and kinds of things like this instead of fossil fuels. And it is just insanity. If you watch Donald Trump's press conference yesterday, I highly recommend you go watch it because it was fantastic. It was fantastic. Him parading those pictures up of all the illegals they've arrested. These people are grapers, murderers, kidnappers, the worst of the worst of people. But as you watch the news, these peaceful protesters are protecting these people, these sanctuary cities. And apparently Virginia, I think I have a clip. We're going to go through a bunch of stuff today. Virginia with, what's her name? Spewberger, who was elected, which I'm leaning towards the elections were rigged, because how in the hell did she get elected? How the hell did Jones get elected? Anyway, so she's pulling where they're going to be a sanctuary city, whatever law the guy before her, the governor before her, she's pulling all his stuff and implementing what she wants, obviously, is what the left wants, is to not allow she wants to be able to block ICE from coming in and getting illegals out. She, even in her campaign, she couldn't say that she didn't want men in women's bathrooms. When I was watching the debates with her and Weiser, I guess that was her name, it was incredible. It was just incredible. Like, I'm thinking, how is this woman going to get elected? There's no way. And sure enough, she gets elected. There's no way Jones is going to get elected. Look at all his past text messages wanting a woman, her children killed and the children in her arms be murdered. It was insanity. So I want an investigation. I want an investigation into the voter fraud, because I don't. Virginia's my home state. And I want to think that Virginia was smart enough to not elect her. I know they voted for Kamala Harris. They were probably cheating. I'm just going to say it. They were probably cheating. Let's get into it today. Let's go.
One Sheriff Grady, Judd here. I'm standing in a house of worship, and I think about last weekend in St. Paul, Minnesota, where people who came to worship were attacked They were attacked by rioters. The service was disrupted. They cut at the very fabric of this great United States of America. We settled this country so many years ago so we could worship free the way we wanted to in whatever house of worship we chose. That attack is unacceptable. I can assure you that had that attack been in this community, every one of those rioters would be in jail today. That's where the federal government could have found them.
Boom.
On state charges,
Boom.
Locked up. And I pray it's that same way all across the United States of America. Enough is enough. Let's join together for the good of the United States of America. Let's worship the way we want to, and let's everyone renounce the horribleness of last Sunday in St. Paul, Minnesota.
Wow.
Hello, everyone.
Well, this is the problem. He's saying, Grady's saying, hey, if it happened here, they'd have been arrested. Nope. Not the leadership in Minneapolis. Nope. Not the leadership there. Nope. You have to have the DOJ has to fly down there. They all got to go down there. They've already issued some subpoenas to Tampon Tim and Fry and another woman. I think I might have some clips. We're going to go down the list of my show prep. I mean, there's a lot to go over. I'm going to try not to have it go super long today, but good Lord. This Florida's administration, they all would have been locked up, rounded up and locked up. Let me know what you think. Should I even think the DOJ should go ahead and arrest them. Why not? If it was January 6th, that's what they did to them. They rounded all them up. They looked at all the video footage that they could get a hold of, and it was on a vaster scale of people in chaos than this. I mean, you had goofy, retarded Don Lemon. He videotaped the whole thing. Everybody's faces. Everybody's faces. It shouldn't be that hard to get them all. To just get them all. Today's show is going to be about the terrorist attack, ICE, the leftards, all of this. It's all together. So here we have some breaking news. A new video reveals the family who received nearly $200,000 in donations after claiming they were returning from a basketball game innocently minding their own business when their baby was tear gassed in Minneapolis. They lied, as footage shows the parents participating in the riot and left their baby in the car. Now, we all know, I've done some previous shows that we know that these people are bringing their children, leaving them in the cars. I saw one woman just had her baby, little baby, all bundled up. It's freezing outside. She's got her baby bundled up. She's out at a protest because she is a retard. She is just a retard. It just, I always say, like, wow. I'm always, it seems like you think you've seen everything, and then you just don't. Then you just don't see everything. You're like, these people are retarded. And look, this is them. It's showing footage. They're participating in the peaceful protesting. And whatever happened, I guess here, how long is this? This is like a 36-second video. Support the Jackson family after ICE incident. So somehow or another, they end up getting sprayed. The crowd does, so whatever happened there. I don't know if I can find some, here we come. Okay, well, so they show them coming in, but the people, let me move. You got another guy. I guess he's part of the family. This guy and her were participating in the riots, and they had their kid in the car. Can you believe it? These people are low IQ. Yeah, I said it. Who in their right mind is going to take their child to a riot? Because that's basically what this is. These aren't, I always say peaceful protests just because it's funny and to be sarcastic, right? Because for sarcasm to be funny, there's elements of truth. But, so these peaceful protesters, and you never know. Somebody's going to throw a brick. Somebody's going to throw something. I mean, these people have weapons. And you dumbasses show up with your children. It's beyond retarded. Okay, here we go. He says, holy moly. The mayor of St. Paul just appeared to excuse the city's church invasion because she thinks that it was a deserved retaliation. Now, we have footage. I don't know if I shared that one. Hopefully I did. You had Jeffries and you had, I know I showed a footage of Tampon Tim maybe in my yesterday's show where he was saying in the past, well, the next thing you know, ICE is going to be raiding churches. This was prior to the terrorist attack. And yeah, that's what I'm calling it. It is a terrorist attack. Let's call it what it is. Then you had Jeffries. There's some video I saw earlier. Hopefully I have it in my stack of stuff today. Jeffries is out saying, oh, next thing ICE is going to do is go try to find illegals at a church and storm a church. It's so funny that, I know y'all know this. They all get a talking point and every one of them say the same thing. It just happens all the time. It happens all the time. It says it's pretty clear that this administration is sending people into the intimidate us, and we will not be intimidated. That's what she says. These people, it's pretty clear that this administration is sending people in to intimidate us. Well, apparently you sent people in to intimidate the churchgoers. Innocent churchgoers, for Pete's sake.
In St. Paul on Sunday. They interrupted a service. They said they were there to protest a pastor there who's also a local ICE official. The Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche says whatever it was anti-Christian and it was a crime. Mayor, I'm curious how you see this. Do you think that some of those protesters may have gone beyond their First Amendment rights in going into a church like that and broke the law?
I will say that ICE has led the way in their charge of going onto school properties and detaining people from places that should be just as well kept sacred. And so, we responded the exact same way we would have at any place of worship. That our PD came in, and because this is an ongoing investigation, I can't comment more than that. But I would say we would have handled this in any other way, in any other place of worship, the same way.
So I understand what you're saying. Just to be clear, though, at the beginning you were saying, well, they go into schools and sacred places. I mean, is this sort of a situation where if they're doing it, it's okay then if protesters are doing it, as you see it?
I don't ever believe that it is okay for us to cross the line in which there are spaces in which people have certain rights and freedoms. But I will say that if this government wants us to obey rule of law, that they also need to follow that as well. And that they cannot expect residents who are feeling terrorized and sieged to be operating under any different circumstances or any different rules than they are operating in.
So President Trump today was asked then about what ICE is doing in your state and other cities across the country. I guess to this point that you're making. So
wow. So, but she asked the question that had already popped in my head, like basically, is this tit for tat? Well, they went into schools and they did this, but I can't really comment because it's an ongoing investigation. Yeah, I think she might be one of the ones that has been subpoenaed too by the DOJ. I know Tampon Tim and Fry is. She might be because they're colluding and they have to show evidence. I saw a guy last night on a news program and they were talking about the subpoenas that were issued to this government structure they have there with Tampon Tim and Fry and her. are, I guess they have to prove, this guy was saying that it might be hard to prove that, are they colluding, or I don't know if you would call it a conspiracy, that they are colluding to help illegals innovate. I think they have. I don't know. While he was talking, I'm like, well, all the videos we've seen, but then he says, well, in some of the videos, Tampon Tim and Fry keep saying, well, just peaceful protests. But they were calling them Nazis. They were calling them fascists. Plus, they're a sanctuary city. So I think there is a coordinated effort with Tampon Tim's administration and these other mayors colluding to do this. I don't think it's too far-fetched to think that. You let me know what you think.
Attorney General Pam Bondi was in your state today.
All right, this has music in it, but I thought it was funny. It says deport white liberal women. That's brilliant. That is just brilliant. Deport white liberal women. All right, just in, Virginians are shocked. Now, I just got a phone call from a family member earlier this afternoon that said, oh my God, I think I just need to move out of Virginia because of what Spazberger is doing. Just in, Virginians are shocked that new moderate Democrat Governor Abigail Spazberger is moving to raising taxes on virtually everything. Everything. Now, I had talked to another, I'm not going to name who I did in Virginia. Sorry about that. I won't name the person, but let's just say they're a senior citizen. And it was just maybe 2 months ago or so, I talked to her, and I love her to death. She's a Democrat, but still love her, right? Hey, it's all good. And she loves me too, but I try not to push too much because you don't want to upset your elders, upset old people. But she had said to me that their taxes were going up in Virginia, their property taxes, right? And I was like, wow, well, how much are your taxes? So she's telling me how much she pays already for her property. And I was like, dad, blame. What? Because I'm in Tennessee. I was like, we're nowhere near that, right? Like, what? This is insane. I didn't realize how high your taxes were. Now, a few years ago, well, it was about 8 years ago when I was handling my mother's estate, the taxes weren't that bad, but I thought they were bad for the size of the house and the size of the property. It wasn't even a complete full acre, my parents' home, before they passed away. But anyway, so she tells me that it's Trump's fault that her taxes were going up on her property taxes. And I said, what? I said, how is that Trump's fault? I said, he doesn't have anything to do with your elected officials who decide to do this to accrue money for the state. And I know what news she watches. She's watching the local news. She doesn't get on the internet. She doesn't do any of that. So she's not getting the what we've all been getting for several years now. Thank God for Elon Musk for X, but so we're getting everything, and we can fact check stuff with Grok. We can totally fact check things, and we can see what's going on with our own eyes. But y'all know these local affiliates, these local news stations all across America are left-leaning. They're getting their talking points, and I was just like, I left it alone. I didn't, come at her like, and I wouldn't do that anyway to anybody. If you're talking to somebody, unless they want to know what my opinion is. Now, she didn't really come out and say, well, what do you think? I just said when she told me that she thought it was Trump's fault her taxes were going up for her property tax in the state of Virginia, I said, well, I'm not sure about that. I was delicate with her. I said, I think that has to do with your state representatives that you guys elected. that do this to collect revenue for the state. And that was about it. That was about it.
That's the new governor of the Commonwealth of Virginia. Abigail Spanberger ran for that office as a moderate, but the executive order she talked about is state and local police not cooperating with ICE to get criminal illegal immigrants. There's also a list of, now the Democrats control the legislature, that a number of bills that have been put forward. You can't read it here, but let me just go through it. Sales tax on Uber Eats, Amazon. Sales tax on admissions to a variety of businesses. Create 2 new higher tax brackets. 10% tax bracket for anyone making over $1 million.
Now, I did hear this on the radio this morning. That's 11% tax on if you order something. I guess if you're ordering Uber Eats, and I'm assuming if you order your groceries online and have them delivered, you're going to have 11% tax for delivery fee. So I think it's going to crush that with that tax being so high. Some people might lose their jobs, because I would think if I was running a business, how many you would have to let people go, because the people calling in to order these things are going to be cut in half, because they're not going to want to pay it. It's just going to be too expensive. 11% tax on deliveries.
3.8 investment tax, raise the hotel tax, new personal property tax on landscaping equipment, ban gas-powered leaf blowers, guarantee illegal alien.
Oh my God, the property tax. I wonder if she'll bring it up to me when I call her to check on her. It's a lady I've known since I was a child. I was friends with her daughter. But anyway, so it sounds like their property tax is going up again. And I hope I'm sure the news is going to spin it and blame all this on Trump, when actually this is Spazberger. Spazberger is doing this. Oh, that's what my relative was telling me this morning. She's like, oh, I got to leave Virginia. I mean, you can't even have gas-powered lawnmowers anymore, or whatever. Yeah, this is retarded.
Free education, make it illegal to approach somebody at an abortion clinic, extend the time absentee ballots can be received after Election Day, allow people to cast their votes electronically through the internet, expand.
That's why they're cheating. That they are cheating, and I think that that needs to be investigated, because I don't think her and Jones won legitimately. I think there was some serious cheating going on. I am just going out on a limb. I don't have any proof, but as what we've been seeing happening in Ohio and in Georgia, does it surprise you, ladies and gentlemen, that there would not be cheating in Virginia? I am shocked that there was gambling in this establishment.
Ranked choice voting, extend the deadline for ballot curing, redact the addresses of political candidates from FOIAs, add Virginia to the National Popular Vote Compact, make it illegal to hand count ballots, $500 sales tax on firearm suppressors, assault weapons and large capacity magazine.
Illegal to hand count ballots.
Ban, 11% sales tax on all firearms and ammunition, prohibit outdoor shooting of a firearm.
It's almost like they're penalizing you for buying a firearm. To hike up the tax that high. Let's see. Do I see that? Nope. It must be down further with how much the tax was. A new 10% tax bracket for anyone making over $1 million. Let's see. He got to there. Let's see. Let me back it up. Because what was that tax on the weapon? On purchasing firearms.
Magazine ban, 11% sales tax on all firearms and ammunition, prohibit outdoor shooting of a firearm, less than 5 acres.
11% tax on the firearm. It's almost like penalizing First Amendment rights, just charging you massive.
Lower the criminal penalties for robbery, ban the arrest of illegal aliens in courthouses, remove mandatory minimum sentences, allow localities to install speed cameras, and...
did you catch that? Lower the minimal sentence. So they're going to go right back to what Trump was even bringing this up yesterday in the press conference, which I sped this up, guys, because, we're trying to get through a lot of content here. Trump had brought up that we have to do away with you kill somebody and then you get arrested and then they just let you go with no bail. And here it is. They're wanting to do this. It's like anything the Trump administration, or anything that's good for America, it's just the opposite is what they do.
Replace Columbus Day with Indigenous Peoples Day.
Oh my God. Virginia! Virginia! Replace Columbus Day with Indigenous People Day. Are y'all all retarded? Y'all need to be screaming and saying, we want a recount. We want an investigation. We want an investigation on voter fraud. Because we don't want this. Somebody needs to do a poll. Somebody needs to do a poll. A statewide poll. Did you really vote for this retarded woman? Did you? Did you really vote for him? Vote for her. What? Allow localities to install speed cameras. Yep. Y'all are going to be pissed. Pissed. Replacing Columbus Day with Indigenous Peoples Day. That is the most retarded thing I've ever heard.
Wow. So elections have consequences, Josh.
What a spectacular reminder that we no longer live in an era where there's an existence of a moderate Democrat. I think for the last 6 months, for those of us who pointed out that the Mamdanis of the world had taken over the Democratic Party, we were assured, no, that's not the new face of the Democratic Party. It's people like moderates Abigail Spanberger. I mean, she's there for a cup of coffee, and all of a sudden we have a communist manifesto out in front of us.
Look at her with her two daughters. Would Windsor asked her on the debate stage, how would you feel if your daughter, a 6-foot man, comes walking in, dangling around? Now, I'm paraphrasing, by the way. Naked in front of your children. She did not answer. She just looked like a deer in the headlights staring out into the abyss. And maybe she knew something we didn't know when we were watching that debate, ladies and gentlemen. She knew she was already going to win, that this was already in the bag, and all of this was just irrelevant. And an inconvenience. But I guarantee you her kids go to a private school. The best private school. And they probably live in a really upper wealthy area where they are shielded from the rest of the crap. Because that's what these liberals do, these elitists. All the crap, all the illegals, all the crime, they're letting these people, releasing these criminals into they're areas where all of us live. All of us normal folk live. But not them. Nope. Not them.
This is going fast and furious, but it is how Democrats govern. Regardless of what they say, even in a state, a purple state like Virginia, Youngkin didn't govern as a right-wing lunatic. She's trying to take it so far left, it's almost unrecognizable.
It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. Abigail, why don't you answer the question? Abigail, what if your girls were in a locker room and a naked man's in there? Abigail, say something. Why don't you answer the question? Now, I had talked to a different family member of mine when that election was going on because I called her. And I was asking her what her thoughts were on it. And she said she was going to vote for Windsor. But she said Windsor got on her nerves in the debate. And I said, what? I loved it. I loved how Windsor was just on the attack. And Abigail would not answer a question. Wouldn't bite. She just stayed silent. And she wouldn't answer the question even when the moderator would say, well, are you for boys and girls locker rooms? And she kept evading the question, just as brilliant as the left does. Super spin, dodge, and give a vague answer of, we're going to let the people of those communities decide. Well, are you? Let's see, now that she's got elected. So why don't it be on a ballot? Do you want boys and girls sports? And let's see how people vote. Now, here we have CNN. Do you believe it was a step too far for protesters, peaceful protesters, to terrorize a church? But that's not how he said it. He said protesters to go into a church. And Representative Altila, good Lord, I don't even know how to say her name. Adelita, I don't know. What the hell? Y'all see her name? Figure it out. And she says, I don't know. She don't know.
Do you believe it was a step too far for protesters to go into a church?
I don't. I think that when they find out that someone that's supposed to be speaking for the community in church is found out to be an ICE, like a federal agent that is running ICE in their communities, they have the right to go in there. Churches have always been an open door. And from my understanding in the videos that I saw, those protesters were not violent in any way.
Do you believe it was a step too far?
You had kids crying. You had people in the corner crying, young people, women cuddling and holding their children. Like that one scene we had with the man holding his child, and the child was crying, and that guy was just screaming at him, telling them they're not Christians. And who the hell is she? What do you mean churches are open for this? No, churches are not open for lunatics, crazy leftist lunatics to come in, and they barged in like a militia. I don't know if y'all seen clips of some of the churches in oh gosh, where was it where they were getting killed and Trump told them to stop? I'm having a brain fart. Anyway, there was some footage of some guerrilla warfare guys coming in, and the church just ran because they had weapons. Nigeria. It was Nigeria. They had weapons and ran out. Okay, so was it okay for them to do that? No, but it's okay for these guys to come in here and act a fool. And so what if the guy was in ICE? That doesn't give you the right to go in there and terrorize these people because of one guy. Oh, well, if he's a pastor and he's speaking for the community, what are you saying? He's speaking for the community? He's preaching the word of God if he is a part of ICE, and I don't even care. I don't even care if he's a part of ICE or not. These people are law-abiding citizens who work for ICE, who work for the Border Patrol, who are people who are in the military. They're to uphold the law, and that's what they do. And this woman, how the hell did she get elected? There's some serious cheating going on. And y'all pray that if it's not too late for America because we become Sodom and Gomorrah, it is just, it's pathetic and disgusting. That we pray that the Lord will spare us and that bless the Trump administration so we can at least pass that bill that you have to have voter ID across the country. Across the country. Here we have election workers in Texas sound the alarm as election machines keep adding on hundreds of votes in real time as poll locations is shutting down and workers are told to leave. So these machines were just kept spitting out stuff. So, guys, we have got to get a handle on this. I really don't want to listen to Obama's voice, but y'all can go Google this or search it on Grok. Obama won't halt deportations for parents of kids brought to U.S. illegally. Obama won't halt deportation. Not a peep out of the left. Oh, you're breaking up families. You guys are terrorists. You guys are Hitler. I mean, good night. It's just astounding to me. The hypocrisy knows no bounds. All right, this is a AI generated thing. I cannot play it. It has music on it, but we can watch it. And then you guys can Google if you want to hear the music. It's just 15 seconds. Oh, sorry. I thought I had it turned down. Boom. 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 We got the psycho turd. I'm sure y'all recognize him as he was filming himself while filming some of the young people, and it looked like more young people left in the congregation, as he was spewing hateful things to them, telling them they're not Christians and they're listening to somebody who's an ICE officer and all of this kind of crazy, stupid rant he had. This says the woke farmer made this video a couple of hours ago calling Kristi Noem a bird-legged effing whatever, probably hoe, and says his wife is terrified for him. Should Kristi Noem make an example out of him? He should have already been arrested. What are we talking about here? What are we talking about here? And of course, I had posted saying, I said, his wife is scared for him. Wow. So she knows he was a dumb ass. That's all I'm saying. His wife must have known that you're a retard. If she's scared for him, she knows he did something bad. He did something really bad.
Kristi Noem, the bird-legged fucking hoe that she is, has said she's coming to arrest us all tonight, for our little protest. And it wasn't even a protest. Let's call it what it was. We went into the house of God and preached the words of God. But, a lot of us are scared. Hell, my wife is terrified for me right now. They're trying to tie all these protests I've done together and label me as some sort of domestic terrorist. Who knows what they're going to do? But, it's still white privilege right now. We're experiencing what these Latino people feel every night, the fear that their door is going to get kicked down and they're going to get taken away. So wake the fuck up, America. They're coming for us now. They're coming for the people. Stop ignoring this. It's time to stand up. It's time to organize. It's time to stop having fucking permitted fucking parades. It's time for civil disobedience. Get off your fucking asses now before they come for you. I will not be intimidated by a bird-legged fucking hoe. All power to the people. Kristi Noem.
Well, so he's claiming he went into the house of God to preach the word of God. So y'all saw all the videos of him just screaming, y'all aren't Christians. Y'all just live your lavish lives and you have everything like they're all privileged. I mean, he's white too, right? So because most of the congregation looked white, and so what? Okay, but he went into the house of God to preach the word of God. And he's equivalent himself to, in another video, he did what Jesus did. And went in when Jesus went in and flipped the tables of the tax collectors. So he equated himself to Jesus. Now he's saying that he went into the house of God to preach God. This is just all nonsense. And then he says, what about the fear? We have the fear now. What about the fear now that ICE is going to come after us? That Kristi Noem's going to come after us? Well, hey, buddy, what about the fear? What about the fear of the children who were crying and scared to death when you morons, retards, came in there screaming nonsense at them that they have nothing to do with none of this politics? They're there to worship God with their family. You're screaming at them. What about their fear? What about the terrorism that you perpetrated on them? No, it's always, it's not good for the goose, it's good for the gander, right? What a hypocrite, loser, retard. All right, here we go. So this woman here, Chatty Petrie Kazurik, she's an RN with extensive experience and post-accurate leadership. She is vice president of First Choice Home Health, and she's there full time. And listen what she says.
My wish for Caroline Lovett. She is pregnant with a baby girl, and I truly do hope that baby is so healthy. I hope she's healthy and headstrong. So headstrong, in fact, that as she is emerging into this world through Caroline's geriatric tech garage, that she tears her from bow to fucking stern. Grade 4 tear. Like so big that when she gets out of the shower naked and walks across the room, like she accidentally picks up dog toys. Yeah. That's my wish for you, Caroline. My wish for Caroline Lovett.
All right, so y'all just wants the video. I wanted to play it. And this person says, we did it. This poser is the RN that said that she hoped Caroline Levitt rips open giving birth and hopes it's the most traumatizing and painful experience ever. And she was fired! She was fired. And look, this is the response of the place where she works. First Choice says, we are aware of a social media post made by a former employee that has led to questions and external comments. This individual is no longer employed by our organization and does not represent us in any capacity. The statements made on her personal social media account do not reflect our organization's values and practices. Could you imagine that we have people in medical fields that have the same attitude as she does? It's frightening. It is frightening. It's literally frightening. Y'all, David Wood posted this. It's terrible. I said it's terrible, but it's so true. Muslim's wife wearing sexy lingerie for her husband. Because Muhammad married Alyssa when she was 6. Yeah, here we go. And Daniel Wood actually liked one of I commented on his post he did. They had a mock trial, him and AP, and they were ripping up the Quran. And I had commented on it, and he liked my comment. I was like, what? I got all excited. Like, I nerded out, bro. David Wood is awesome. Y'all need to check him out on YouTube. His channel is called Roadshow Apologetics, or check out AP, A Prostate Prophet. Oh, my God. Check out this 40-second clip of Gavin Newsom.
It's amazing.
Yes.
It's a remarkable success.
Governor Newsom,
we
need
a
leader like you.
Isaac, it's fine, dude. I'm not.
Wow.
Governor Newsom, you remember, I'm friends with Charlie. I was friends, obviously, as you know. I always appreciate your interview. Quick question: you mentioned Minneapolis. Any comment on this Don Lemon charging those guys into the church like that?
I literally. It's funny. Someone mentioned Don Lemon and Trump the other day, and so I have no idea what that's about.
Big viral story. He had a bunch of agitators. They ran into some kind of church. Don Lemon.
Into a church?
Yes.
Even focus on this.
No, it's not even at this focus. Literally don't know anything about it.
Okay.
Thank you. Thanks,
Great.
Really? It's been the biggest news story, and he doesn't have a clue? Are you kidding me? It's the biggest story ever. Terrorized a church. It's insane. When was this posted? This was posted 3 hours ago by Benny Johnson. And of course I wrote, he's so full of I'm trying not to cuss, ladies and gentlemen. Just let me know what y'all think. Do y'all think he truly didn't know? He truly didn't know. Come on. Come on. Elon Musk types true to Stephen Miller's post. If your stance is that we can only deport illegals after they violently attack a citizen, and then you're saying we have no border at all. 0 rules, 0 restrictions, no limits. Anyone can come. Anyone can now overstay their visa. It's like we don't have a country. We don't have nothing. We can't enforce the laws. If your stance is we can't deport illegals, it's retarded. All right, Secretary Noem posted this yesterday. Arrests are coming. We're waiting. This weekend, an anti-ICE mob targeted a church, and they terrorized them. It was a terrorist attack. Let's call it what it is. Emboldened by the reckless rhetoric from Minnesota's sanctuary politicians and media. The First Amendment protects speech and peaceful assembly, not rioting. The administration is committed to upholding federal law and defending the rights of all Americans. These peaceful agitators will be held accountable. Well, let's hope so, because I tell you what, if it was January 6th and they had all the same footage, because this moron, Don Lemon, posted it. Plus, he aired it live from TikTok, and he posted it to his YouTube channel. Everything. He posted the whole thing. So what is taking so long? All the evidence you need is right there. And what, the first 15, 20 minutes of his 6.5-hour live video stream is all the evidence you need, other than going in and getting their phones, getting their computers, what kind of communications did they have. Yeah. I'm serious, man. If this was if somebody from the right did this, you better believe that the left would have put you in shackles.
And that pastor really did a remarkable thing there, trying to protect his parishioners.
And even the parishioners, I imagine, have felt and feel intimidated. And
they did, and there's going to be arrests in the next several hours, Greta. There will be arrests tied to that, and people will be brought to justice.
This was posted 20 hours ago, so she said in several hours. I'm checking, guys.
for how they violated the law in that situation.
Well, Don Lemon is a journalist, and so I thought he was going, and so when I first saw it, I assumed he was going in as a journalist covering it. I mean, I go into bad places and ask questions all the time. But when his comment about the white supremacy all of a sudden made me think, well, maybe he wasn't there as a journalist.
Yeah, well, Greta, not only that comment, but the fact that ahead of time, before this even happened, he said that he had conducted some surveillance before they went into this church. He identified individuals that were going in with him that were activists and the work that they'd done in the past. The fact that this entire situation was then posted on the Black Lives Matter website, all of that is something that they're going to be responsible for.
Wow. Well,
and that pastor really did a remarkable.
Wow. That is crazy. Another crazy thing is look at poor Greta. She went under some plastic surgery a few years back. She should have just left her face alone. So now it looks like her face is permanently like stuck, like she had a stroke or something. I don't know. But these people are idiots. And look at this woman here. So she is she's a civil rights attorney committing civil rights crimes. This moron posted on her X page, pinned it, thanking Don Lemon and a whole bunch of other ones for helping her organize. Get this organized and get it done. We want to see some action, people. Action.
I mean, I go into bed.
Wow. This is a quick shout out from Elon Musk. It says, don't let your loved ones use ChatGPT. ChatGPT has now been linked to 9 deaths tied to its use. In 5 cases, its interactions are alleged to have led to deaths by offing themselves, including teens and adults. Now, I think what has happened is you have people with psychological problems using ChatGPT, and wow, it's crazy. This was a public service announcement. I would recommend use Grok, or take the phone away from your kids. Check this out. Now, I had commented on another video, a show I did a few days ago, where I said, what, the church is going to have to start locking their doors and stuff? Like, they're going to need, what do they need, security out there? Especially with the people who were shot up by the left-wing lunatic transgender retard who killed a couple of children in Minnesota, by the way. Could you imagine the fear on those people when they terrorized them on Sunday? A church in Fort Wayne, Indiana, trains to protect their church in the event that someone targets them. All churches could use this type of training. Look at this. So they need to know where all the exits are, where to go. Oh, look at poor little grandma. And then they get to the doors. Wow. Then they barricade the doors. I guess that's in simulating somebody shooting and they got to run. They got to get down.
In the corner, see if I get shot without them getting blasted.
And they all got weapons. I love it. Wow. They all got weapons. That's crazy. But awesome.
Good.
That's crazy.
On my side. Good.
They're all
safe. Good job.
They're all packing. Now, I mean, what if some of those people were packing in that church that was terrorized? If they felt like they were threatened, I mean, it could have gone bad. I don't know. I would say, but this is great. These guys are packing. I love it. And it's sad. It's sad, too, that churches are having to do this. Well, guys, we can only hope that this bill passes and stop. Why are all these senators, congressmen, they're all millionaires. Oh, look at Omar. I read somewhere earlier that she had $45 in her bank account, and then like within a year she had over $30 million, like $1 million. In a jaw-dropping revelation, House Speaker Mike Johnson announced he has endorsed the Stop Insider Trading Act, which bans members of Congress and their immediate family from trading individual stocks, aiming to curb insider trading. Isn't this what Martha Stewart went to jail for? What? They can do it, but Martha Stewart couldn't do it? Why aren't these people in jail? They are held to another standard than the rest of us, but we elected these people to be officials of these different states in the United States, but they can have insider trading. I think they should do something about their constituents. Their constituents should be the people of the state, not these businesses who say, hey, man, we're going to give you a bunch of money if you do this and you do that. I think that it needs to go further. I don't know. Maybe I don't even know what I'm talking about, but I'm just telling you, I just think it's crazy. It is crazy. All right, we're going to cover William Kelly. He's the bearded guy. He's the guy we showed a clip of just earlier. That he was, he said he went into the house of God to preach the word of God. And that he's doing Jesus' work. And that now he's in fear and his wife is afraid for him. Now we know what the illegals feel like is what he's saying. He knows what they feel like because his wife is afraid for him. And that the American people need to stand up. It's retarded. It's like his rhetoric is retarded. It doesn't even make sense. But here we go. Leftist thug William Kelly busted for disrupting a peaceful church service in the Twin Cities. This is Soros-funded peaceful agitator. Travels state to state, sowing chaos, and now Trump's DOJ is hunting him down. They know where he's at. Come on. He's been in all kinds of videos. They know his name. He was arrested. He was actually arrested a few days before the terrorist attack. DOJ is hunting him down. We must expose these paid rioters. Who's really pulling the strings? It's all those NGOs, man. It's the NGOs. It's the Soros Planted Seed Fund. It's the left-wing Democrat Party. It's the fraud in Minnesota. They're using their own taxpayers' money to fund their own demise. And you could better believe that that's happening to all of us across America. Our own taxpayer dollars are funding our own demise.
Understand who they are. We're trying to gather as much information as we can.
Well, you kind of have a combination of groups here. I believe the person you were speaking about is William Kelly. He's this lunatic that apparently is well-funded, going state to state and pushing back on ICE. The other individuals, and specifically the person who organized the protests, was Nakima Levy Armstrong. She used to be the head of the Black Lives Matter movement going back to the George Floyd riots. And what we saw on Sunday was as diabolical as it was cowardly. You know, it's cold outside, and so they have to find other ways to go and protest. But the truth of the matter is, the reason why they did that is because they're losing the argument on the ground against their ridiculous and irrational pushback on ICE. Thank goodness that Elon Musk now runs X, because the messaging is not only exclusive to the left. Now conservatives are out there to counter all the misinformation and lies about what Immigrations and Customs Enforcement is doing. What they did on Sunday was a ramping up because they're losing the battle on the ground. And it really goes to show this is merely an extreme case of Trump derangement syndrome. It's not about illegal immigration anymore. It's all about going and pushing back against Trump and ultimately Christianity. And I'm convinced that they crossed the Rubicon on Sunday. And I hope that the Department of Justice drops the hammer on every single person that walked into that church and disrupted those individuals who were just there to go and worship their Lord and Savior.
Not just a hammer, but Thor got a thunder hammer. Boom. Take that. I'm a little concerned that we haven't seen arrests yet. They should have already been arrested. I guarantee you guys, if this was on the other foot, if some right-wing creepy people did this, which they wouldn't, they'd have been arrested, just like January 6th. They went after those people with a vengeance. With a vengeance. And now a lot of other stuff is coming out about January 6th, and like a lot of it was all perpetrated by the left. Yeah, I said it. I wouldn't put it past them. I would not put it past them. I mean, this is crazy. They know where this guy is. Why hasn't him been arrested? He's been making videos the last 2 or 3 days saying, yeah, we're doing the good Lord's work. What? Then we find a video of him kind of drunk and stupor, and he's like asking those people, why are you following me? What a hypocrite. So now he's like, my wife is scared. My wife's scared for me. Now we know how the illegals feel. So what? He's claiming he's not afraid. He had said in some other videos, come get me, come get me. Well, go get him. Go get him. Man, this is going to be great. Man. I want everybody to remember, Melissa Hartman was the only Democrat to vote against the health care for illegals in Minnesota. She was the deciding vote. And then guess what? She was assassinated. And guess what? I don't need a tinfoil hat on, but I'll tell you what. The guy that killed her and her husband, and then he killed somebody else, he worked for Tampon Tim. And guess what he claimed? Now, I guess they're just thinking he's crazy, right? Maybe he's not crazy. Maybe he's crazy, and that's why Tampon Tim used him. Yeah, I got my tinfoil hat on. I got my tinfoil hat on. Just maybe. Tampon Tim, they thought, yeah, we can use this guy because he's a complete retard. So they use him. Hey, the guy said Tampon Tim told him to kill her. I am not making this up. This is what he said in a statement. Tampon Tim told him to kill her. So was that a message to other libtards in the Democrat Party? This is what's going to happen to you if you vote against us? I don't know. I don't know. Look, it's what the guy said. It's what he said. I'm not making this up. You can go Google it. You can go research it. He said that Tampon Tim told him to kill her. All right, guys. Hillary Clinton without makeup. She's actually George Soros. Oh, my God. Do y'all know these retards, 28 Democrat members of Congress are in Minnesota to defend Tampon Tim and the Somalians involved in the fraud. These people. You got to admire how they can stick together. They stick together. Man, as far as funding, talking points, they all got their talking points. They are well organized in these peaceful protests. And here you go. You have these retards, 28 of them and Democrat members heading to Tampon Tim's state. And here she is saying she's so excited to be part of the 28 to go and support Tampon Tim. And of course he's saying, oh, thank you so much for all your support. All your support. I can't wait till they get hammered with those subpoenas. Oh, my God. Guys, it's going to be an exciting time. Don Lemon, all the terrorist attacks at the church get arrested. Tampon Tim, Fry, her, that other woman we just reported earlier. Because all of them have been subpoenaed. They better have evidence. I would think they would have to have something they had chewed on to go ahead and issue the subpoenas. And plus, probably the subpoenas are more access to all the information. They need to get into all the documentation. All of it about the fraud. All right, we're going to wrap the video up with this. We're going to wrap it up. Don Lemon is pretty cocky and hasn't learned anything from his actions in the terrorist attack on the church. A prerequisite for being with the Democrats is that you have to be somewhat delusional and self-centered. And that's so I've heard. The narcissism, the entitlement. Don thinks that he is a journalist. Who wants to tell him? Who wants to tell him? All right, I am going to sped this up just a bit, guys, so we can get through this. Because it's a 4-minute clip, so we can narrow it down to 2 minutes. All right, here we go.
People are trying to protect, because all ICE wants to do is get them out of our country, bring them to prisons and jails and mental institutions from where they came. That's all they want to do. They're patriots, and they have to be.
Now, this was from Trump's press conference yesterday. I watched the whole thing. It was good.
Abused by guys like Don Lemon, who's a loser, lightweight. I saw him the way he walked in that church. It was terrible. I have such respect for that pastor. He was so calm. He was so nice. He was just accosted. What they did in that church was horrible yesterday. Look at this. 24 convictions. 24 times convicted.
Okay.
They're not charges, these are convictions.
I got a lot to say about all of that. He saw me when I walked into that church, whatever. I thought he didn't pay attention to me. Was he at the church? He saw me walk in?
Bro, you filmed it. What do you mean he didn't see you walk into church? We all saw you walk into church. We all heard what you said when you were walking to the door of the church. You were like, oh, look, there's a little kid crying and their parents hugging them. Well, you know, this must be traumatizing, but that's what protest is all about. That came out of your mouth. Yeah, we all saw it. Are you a complete retard? Apparently so.
Because no one saw me walk in. I walked in after. Anyway, I won't go there. Okay, that's why I'm trending. And yeah.
Oh, that's why he's trending. Oh my God. You're trending because you're a retard. And you're trending because we all are waiting. We are waiting to see you get arrested and handcuffed, and it is filmed.
Yeah. Look, we have a First Amendment.
What?
And journalists are protected under the First Amendment. Journalism, the freedom of speech, the freedom of the press. And so I believe in the Constitution. I also believe that as a journalist that I have an oath. I feel that I take an oath to.
He believes in the Constitution. So he believed he had a constitutional right to storm that church. Are y'all hearing what he's saying? Because that's what he's saying. He has a constitutional right. I guess he did. I'm sure. He had to have been talking to his lawyer. He had to have been looking up the statute. The FACE Act, the KKK Act that was done in 18-something. Boy, would it be miraculous if he's charged with that. It's hilarious. But this is a serious matter. But he has to already know this, why he's filming this stupid video. He's still doubling down on justifying his actions. Not even saying sorry. He doesn't care about those kids he traumatized. Has he once? I haven't seen any evidence that he came out and apologized to those poor children. Those people, the elderly people that were there. The children that were there. Even the young adults that were there. He needs to apologize to all of them. And still, that's not enough. He's going to have to serve. He's got to go to prison, ladies and gentlemen, even if he apologizes. Because even if he does apologize, it is not sincere.
Bring the story to the American people, to the world. Just as doctors and attorneys have oaths to do no harm. And I feel that what would be doing harm to people is by covering things up. It's by not bringing light to the situation. I think it would be a sin for me to be there in places, no matter where it is. It would be a sin. And I would be betraying my duty as a journalist and my duty as an American and the Constitution if I did not take every opportunity. Now, remember this, people.
I have to take every opportunity so I could be the most trending person. See, he knew this was going to get traction. He knew what he was doing was wrong. He had to have. He conspired with these people. And guys, he's still doubling down. He would be sinful if he didn't do this. Yet when he walked up, he's like, sees a traumatized child, and he just dismissed it as, well, this is what protests are, even though that kid's traumatized. But this is what this is all about. Are you kidding me? That came out of his own mouth. I'm still in shock. And now he's saying this garbage.
Because they're so upset. You can't go to whatever. People in the church have cameras. That's why it's so bizarre to me. Like when people, like if you walk into, we were in Chicago and we went to a park and they said, you can't have that camera here because it looks like a professional camera, but it's a small, one of the small cameras. I don't have the camera here, but it has a longer lens on it. And they say, you can't bring that camera in. And I said, well, what's the difference between this camera and a cell phone? Because a cell phone can actually expose more things than just this camera, because the cell phone camera is connected to the internet and the information can go out immediately without you checking to see if it's allowable, and you can be live with it. So the thing is that everybody has a phone now, right? And everybody has a device that can capture things. And so, there were people in the congregation who were capturing things. Are they in trouble? I'm just saying.
Why would they be in trouble for filming you terrorize them? Somebody help me figure, what the hell is he saying? What does he mean? The people in there they were filming too. They were in there minding their own business. And you retards stormed in there like terrorists, disrupted their gathering on private property, not a park. Not a park where you're saying, well, you can't have this kind of... What is he saying? I don't think he knows what he's saying. I don't know what he's saying. Good Lord.
Okay, I get tired of being quiet. I can't be quiet. It's a journalist's job is to tell the truth and to bring the information to the people, and then you decide.
When does he tell the truth? Y'all go to his page and look at the nonsense that he taught. He was talking to some Mexican woman, and she's here legally. She's going through the process. She has her papers and all that. He stops her on the streets and he's asking her about it, and she's like, because he's asking her about immigration. He's hoping he found a Mexican who would be against Trump. She's like, no, it's illegal to cross the border. I'm legal. I'm doing it the right way. And she says she's against, and he's like trying to school her and telling her, no, it's not illegal. It's insane. Y'all got to go look it up. And this guy's saying that he likes to tell us the truth, that it's his Christian duty to tell the truth.
So anyways, I want to talk about, I have to be honest with you, what we saw tonight in that White House briefing room, that was a normal. And I don't mean like, I disagree with him. Like, that's not that kind of not normal. I mean, like, desperate. It's embarrassing. It was unsettling. Donald Trump didn't look like a president explaining,
Wow. If anybody watching this video, you need to go watch the press conference. You can put it on, bump the speed up a little bit. I did while I was watching it. It was fabulous. He had a stack of showing this is what we're doing. We're getting these criminals out, these murderers, these grapers, these pedos, these heinous crimes. We're getting rid of all of this. And what does he say? It's embarrassing? I think it was one of the best press conferences he's had in a while. It was great.
Policy. He walked up there with the thing and he's like, here is my accomplishments. I have all of these accomplishments. Look, this is my accomplishment.
And boy, the accomplishments are amazing and they benefit the American people. He is mocking the accomplishments. The big, beautiful bill has passed. You guys out there attending bar, waiting tables, no tax on tips. You guys out there pounding in the overtime, no tax on your overtime. Your check will be fat, my guy. Fat, bro. And he's just mocking. We have been blowing up terrorist boats. Now it's down to, well, I don't know what percent it is. He said, where's that one boat? Because it's at 99% down of boats coming in. And he said jokingly, where's this 1%? And he said they know where they'd be coming in on land. So we've knocked that out. He got Venezuela guy out of the way. The people Trump has accomplishment after accomplishment after accomplishment. Go get gas and you'll see he's pulling it down. I mean, you're way under $3. In some places it's $1.99 a gallon. So look, he can mock all day long. We're seeing it and we're feeling it. Now, the coffee's still too dab blame high, by the way. So I think it takes time for when the gas prices come down. It takes time for everything else to catch up. And then since the energy prices are down, a lot of the other costs are going to come down. So we have to be patient. But what we're seeing so far is fabulous. And this moron is mocking Trump for his accomplishments. Now, if this was bad and it did all this, they'd be praising him and giving him the Nobel Peace Prize.
Accomplishment. What was that? Anytime someone has to do that.
You know why he has to do that? Because the mainstream media is not doing it. I knew exactly why he's doing it. He has to keep pushing this stuff out. And I think it's great. I want him to continue to do this. They need to keep showing the people what they do. And I was reading the comments on one of them. Bavino did a press conference yesterday as well, showing people the criminals that they just got over the last 3 days. And this was yesterday. Over the last 3 days was a murderer, a pedophile, and I don't know what the other guy was. Maybe he was a murderer too, but they just arrested them, and he's showing it. So I was reading the comments, and they were like, they need to do this every day. I was like, I'm thinking I agree, because it's not getting out in the mainstream media that they need to keep showing and reassuring the people, this is what we're doing, and this is the result of what we're doing. It's called, what? You can call it advertisement. You can call it propaganda. There's good propaganda, right? There's bad propaganda, and there's good propaganda. And the Republicans and the mega party need to do a better job of getting out the good propaganda.
it shows you that they really are insecure about their accomplishments, or if they've accomplished anything at all, when they're desperate for people to give them accolades, desperate for because of the polling. The polling is so bad. And as he's standing, I'm going to show you.
Well, in your video, when you were live, you were all like telling people to go to the NAACP, whatever that garbage was. You wanted them to go and vote for you because you wanted to win. You're like, I want that award. So what? And then now you were toting and bragging that you were trending and stuff. So it sounds like you want people to see your accomplishments. You are a hypocrite. There's a difference between you and Donald Trump, and you take a big L. Take a big L.
Show you. He's talking about how great the economy is, his accomplishments of gas is this, and there's no evidence that what he's pointing out is true. Maybe there's some, one-offs.
There's no evidence? There's evidence every time I go get gas. Are you kidding me? The truck, you just take $50 to fill it up. Now I can go fill it up for $25. Half! The gas prices have been cut in half. So what does he mean there's no evidence? What is he saying?
In places. But as he's doing that, the stock market is cratering, like going off of a cliff because of the uncertainty. We're going to show you all of that. He looked like someone who was trying to convince himself that he's still in control. Not you, the American people, but himself, that he's still in control. Now, I don't know who came up with this gimmick in the White House. I don't know what like they think this is a good idea. It's not. It's bad. You guys this is bad. Now, what you're good at, White House, Trump folks, pardon me, and I believe that's in large part because of Donald Trump, because of his, look, the man knows how to manipulate the media. He knows television.
Wow.
He knows, the Celebrity Apprentice. He knows newspapers. New York is a very, it used to be even more, very heavily tabloid or just newspaper.
Wow.
I walked in that church, it was terrible.
So, was that not calling the kettle black that he said they know how to manipulate the media? He was on CNN for 17 years. All they did and still do is manipulate their audience. That's what they do. Well, let me know in the comments, what do you think of him? Do you think what he did was okay with those other people, or do you think he's just another terrorist, another loser, libtard, retard? Like and subscribe. I know you want to. And always remember, don't be a retard.